Yeah, there's some real people out there, but there's not a lot of people. Who you find over here, Safa?
You.
Who
Because
fake?
you're real.
Oh, me think you this guy send me fake. See, I look up it. Welcome back to our podcast, everybody. Wherever in the world you find yourselves today, I hope that you are being blessed. And I hope that you have some tea, coffee, or any type of drink, whether water, I don't care what it is. As long as you have a drink in your hand, I just want you to celebrate you today. And I hope that you're having a blessed day, okay? So on with it. Today we're basically gonna be rambling a lot because this is like an impromptu type of thing. And we're gonna be talking basically about Gen Z and their daggone lack of, you know what, motivation, aka lazy freaking rotted self. For all my Jamaican people out there, yes, you heard me correct, for their laziness. So yes, we're gonna start this podcast off. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let us know where you are and what you think about this podcast, okay? Thank you guys for joining us. So, you want to start it off? So, why do you think that Gen Z or your generation feel the way you feel?
The decline in mental health generationally. Like, generationally, because our inflation is going up.
I don't get it though. The reason why I say I don't get it because
times are becoming harder and harder for each generation.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, you're speaking of, just to get a little bit personal, but you technically don't have to worry about anything because you're under mom and dad's roof. So what could truly be stressing you out?
Genetics. It's more of like, it doesn't also necessarily have to be a situational thing, because even people who are living the best lives can still experience a lot of mental health issues and stuff.
You gotta be, you're right about that.
And even if I'm well off, I'm still gonna have struggles with like inflation and all that, not being able to financially afford everything that I could possibly be able to afford if it was back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that just comes with life. Because the older I get, the more I realize that things are going to change. It's gonna get more expensive because that's just the nature of life and living. And we just have to deal with it and roll with the punches. That's all I gotta say. I mean, you can only control what you can control. So if for things that are outside of your control, don't even think about it. Deal with what you can control. Control what you can control. Don't worry about outside of the things that you can't. You get it?
It's a lot easier said than done.
I know. I've been there. See, that's what you need to understand, that us older folk, as you may consider us to be, us older folk, myself included, we actually go through the same, or still go through the same thing that y'all are going through, probably on a different level. We struggle, especially with our mental, and just trying to get everything straightened out and whatever, because unlike you all, we have to basically not only think about us, but we got to think about, guess who? Y'all! Yes! So just imagine how much more pressure that is. Imagine you're only thinking about yourself, right? For all my people out there, they only got to worry about themselves, and they feel so pressured. So can you just imagine how they would deal with the pressure that most of us have to deal with? Mind you now, of course, some of us don't freaking doggone, deal with it well, and that's when we run into problems. But if you're finding problems and you're finding that you're dealing with it a certain way, there's always help. Reach out. Call whomever you need to talk to,
Not everybody is able to get said help. Not everybody is a trusted adult or ability to get mental health services.
Well, there's always resources out there, and you just got to tap into them, period. I would never say never, because there's always resources out there. And I'm pretty sure you people out there can attest to that. You just have to be able to be open and willing to do the work. You just can't sit back, close yourself off in a room, lock doors, shut the freaking blinds out, and just expect to get the help. It doesn't work like that, not in the real world. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the struggles of, just dealing with school and that level of motivation that you don't have to get up sometimes to wanting to go to school. What is it about y'all generation nowadays that don't want to even deal with school, don't want to get up and go to school?
Bullying. Pressure.
Yeah, that's two aspects.
School
What else?
changing in how they teach. It tends to be very toxic, a lot harder than it used to be back in the day. You don't really get as much freedom.
Can't really speak too much on that. I'm sorry.
I don't really know.
Help me, beautiful people out there. I can't really speak too much on that because my level of schooling is a lot different. So I can't really speak on much of what I don't know. But chime in. Those of you who have experience with all this kind of things, just let me know. What do y'all think? You know, I do understand the bullies. That's forever. There's always going to be somebody that wants to bully another person. So we can't get away from that. Now, how you react to the bully is, you know, just shows your level of growth, maturity, and all the type of things. But yeah.
What is the whole thought process being a traditional parent, raising children based off of how you were raised?
Oh, we ain't raising. Well, I and your daddy ain't raising y'all.
Raising children authoritarianly.
What do you consider authoritarian?
Strict, like physical.
Like what? Be specific. What do you mean by strict?
The whole like spank culture and all that.
Oh shoot, we passed that, but still, I understand. Where I'm from, spanking did it. Period. Of course, it didn't get us anywhere because, I mean, some of us, it either didn't help or it helped. A lot of us, it made us stop doing what we were doing, and a lot of us, it made us a lot worse. So, yeah, it's a give and take. It's a trade-off for that. But I believe in spanking to an extent. Not spanking in the fact that you're going to take out your frustration on the kid or the child, but spanking in the fact that, yeah, a one pop on them on, you know? And you make them realize. But I realize that this generation, which is completely different from our generation, the old people generation, what I realize is that spankings doesn't do anything to this generation, right? Spankings don't do anything.
It just causes trauma.
Exactly. But I mean, it caused trauma back then for my generation
y'all
too.
getting paddled in school and all that.
What we did, which is different from y'all, is that we conformed. Gen Z and y'all generation don't conform.
We don't have to anymore out
Y'all
of
don't
safety for
conform.
ourselves.
Yes,
That's why the people, like the rates of like homosexuality and left-handedism, people are like, oh, it just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. But no, it's just people were hiding it. Because if they were out and they told people like I'm left-handed, then they will get their hand smacked. Like, use your right hand. Because like, if you look at the studies, I don't exactly have it on me. I did research on it past tense, but they were talking about like how the reports of people being left-handed were so low because of like the
stigma?
Bully culture. Yeah, the stigma and the bully culture towards it.
I heard a little bit of that. See, I never had none of those things to deal with, so I can't really speak for things that I don't know.
But people were saying that, oh my God, once the 2000s hit, there's suddenly a massive increase in left-handed people. But that's not how that works.
How can it be a massive increase of left? What's the way?
And that's what's going on with all this extra thing, like gay and trans and all them things. People are saying, oh, it's a massive increase since 2020. It's just like people are more comfortable.
There was a lot of closeted people out there,
of course.
Period. But that's a subject for another topic. That's a subject for another day.
But that is also a reason why mental health is so low. It's because people are coming out as those things. Bullying is also increasing a lot more too.
Well, yeah. Like I said, that's always been there and it forever will be there because there's always one person that feel the need to bully the other person. Whatever they're, and usually those people, they lack a lot of self-esteem, and that's why they take out their frustration on the other person. If you look deeper in them, in their history and their upbringing, you'll see there's a lot of trauma there. And that's why they want to pass on the trauma to you, the person who is getting bullied. But ignore the haters. Just ignore all the haters.
I personally don't experience bullies because I fight back. So, also people at school call me intimidating because of how I dress and how like I have this aura when I walk around, and they're like, you look like you like cast spells on people or something. I'm like, I'm not. I'm a very chill person.
See, Education, man. I'm just learning people and just knowing the person. Period. You know, you can't just be judging a person by the way how they look, dress, and what they do. You just got by what they look and they dress. You gotta judge them by what they do and what they say. You know, you judge a person by their character because people fake it a lot, especially on this internet junk. People fake it all day. Period. It's nothing but fakes out here. Ain't nobody real no more. Yeah, there's some real people out there, but there's not a lot of people. Who you paint over here, Safa?
You.
Who fake?
You're real.
Oh, me think you just got fake. See, I look a bit Cha. Anyway, back to the topic of the Gen Z and their lack of motivation. I mean, there's so many areas that Generation Z have lack of motivation, and one of them is just basically just getting up out of bed to do their everyday things that I consider to be everyday things. You know, just getting up out of bed. Why do you feel it's so hard for Generation Z and even younger they struggle to get up out of bed? Like, I don't get it.
Mental health. Depression.
Why everything has to be with mental health and depression?
Because it takes over everything in a person. It takes over everything. Their motivation to get up out of bed, their motivation to shower, their motivation to brush their teeth, their motivation to do work, motivation to go to school, motivation to take care of themselves, take care of other people, help out with their house, do chores, all that. That all has to do with depression.
Yeah, but there's you see, that's where it all goes back to, you know. And that's what I'm trying to instill in you, at least, because I can't speak for everybody. I can just speak for my household, and that's it. But you got to know that there's a reason to wake up and be like hyped, regardless of the noise outside. Because there's forever what you're gonna learn as you grow and get older, and you become an old person like myself. What you're gonna learn is that the noise is forever gonna be there. But if you shut it out sometimes, and just be thankful and grateful of the fact that you still are breathing. You have a roof over your head. Be thankful for the small things. That's what separates me, per se, from a lot of people. And even though I may get depressed, yes, but I have to quickly thank God, of course, for the support that I have around me. But I have to pull myself out of that bad boy, because I can't be stuck in that funk forever. I have a reason to live and to celebrate life. I have a reason to get up and go shower. You know, y'all are the reason why I get up and shower, because I know that I can get up and I can go get me some sunshine. I don't have to worry about living in a house that is freaking falling apart, or worrying about certain little things that a lot of people have to worry about. So me just being thankful for those things that I do have, that gives me a sense of purpose to get up out of bed and to want to shower and to just get my day started at least. And I feel, this is my personal take on it now, I feel that if I get up out of bed and I shower and I do all those type of things, I'm gonna be in a better mood than if I didn't, and lock myself in and just think of all the negative things. Because if you feed yourself that negative energy, you're gonna just completely just stay there.
It's all about mindset, because
I'm glad you said that. Of course it is.
It's all about mindset. Like, it's not a voluntary thing for most people. Like, if you really, really, really struggle with depression, it's not just I'm going to be a different person today and I'm just gonna take care of myself. Because if it's like true deep MDD, I forgot what major depressive disorder, then that's not just a situation where you can just I'm gonna force myself to have motivation today so that I can feel better afterwards. That's like a hopelessness type of feeling. Like, you feel like regardless of if you live the best life, regardless if you have the best family and all that, regardless of even if you feel in a good mood, you'll still be struggling. And there's except for medication and therapy, there's not really much that could truly be done.
There is things that you can do.
Not on the person's end, if it's true psychosis and stuff like that.
Well, that's where you have to tap into your resources.
But not everybody can do that, because you need to be very self-aware to be able to do that.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize what they're doing is a negative behavior, and even if they do, they still feel they can't, or they don't have the motivation, or they have too much anxiety regarding to talking to somebody and all that. So even
how about talking to the people that you're around, though?
What if they don't have somebody who's around?
I'm talking there's always somebody there. People always say there's nobody there. There may not be people out there or whatever. There's always somebody.
Not everybody is willing to have a conversation with somebody.
You know, that's why you have to find somebody. Find the nearest person who you talk to that you trust.
And what if
you got us? I mean, shoot. So you shouldn't even.
But my situation is different. But I'm saying in general.
So you're speaking in general for everybody?
I don't like talking very personal.
Yeah, but you can't be talking for everybody now.
I'm talking in general for people who the main subject of this is like Gen Z and their issue with motivation and laziness and all that. And the main thing is MDD rises, seasonal depression rises, anxiety issues and anxiety disorders are on the increase, especially due to what is going on in the United States and other places in the world right now. It's getting harder and harder and harder to find a will to live and to experience a good quality of life. And so regardless, I'm saying,
well, it goes back to, not to cut you off, but it goes back to what I was saying, that you have to, you know, you can't worry yourself about things you can't control. You can only control, you know, the things that are within your reach and your capacity. Stop trying to worry about
that advice truly only works for people who either have mild issues or already on the road for recovery.
Well, see,
but if a person is in a deep depression, as I'm saying, a person who's in a deep depression, who is genuinely really struggling to the point where it is like suicidality and all that, that's like,
I would hope that person reaches out for help. That's all I got to say.
But I'm saying it's not always a ability for them, even if they have the resources.
I understand. I totally understand. Trust me, I understand. I understand exactly where you're coming from with that. But once again, you have to be able to tap into those resources and find somebody.
Able to, like, if they have too much anxiety regarding to talk to somebody, if they don't have somebody to talk to, then they, even if they have the resources,
so what got that person to that point in the first place?
It could be genetics, because MDD is genetic. Anxiety issues are genetic, hereditary. I mean, it could be just simply their environment. Maybe they're having a bad time at school, and they don't have anybody to talk to about it, or they don't have any other option aside from that school. They're getting bullied, virtually or in person, and they still can't do anything about it, regardless of if they talk to somebody. Or anybody that they did trust betrayed them, and now they have major trust issues.
Oh man. What do y'all think out there? This is a very heavy topic. Very heavy topic. You got really deep, really quick, really fast. You know, for all the experts out there, chime in. Let us know what are some of the things that we can do as, you know, the person who is actually going through those emotions, or the person who have to deal with those people that are going through all those emotions. Let us know what you all think. What you suggest that person should do in order to get the help that they truly need and deserve. We're going to talk a little bit about Gen Zers and younger and their daggone thing that's called a cell phone.
So there is a very negative stigma when it comes to social media and cell phones, especially the controversy regarding what age a person should be receiving a cell phone. In my personal opinion, I feel like a child should not be exposed to a cell phone until like teenage years, like 13, because I get very disgusted sometimes when I see little 9-year-olds wearing revealing clothing on TikTok and all that, and engaging with like predators and all that. That's like, I feel so bad for them, because they probably don't know any better, because that's what they see other people doing, and so they think it's positive. But phones in general, they're used as an escapism from, like, as I said, like the mental health and all of that. Cell phones are used as a counter to it, but it also becomes its own issue because it's a coping mechanism, like to be on phone, be on social media, watching other people live their fine lives, whether or not it's real or fake.
Yeah.
And you know, living vicariously through them and being like, dang, I have to eat ramen noodles every day while I'm watching them eat a full 5-course meal.
Yeah. I feel you on that. But, you know, you just, once again, you got to control what you can control. And yeah, I got to talk about the whole phone situation, you know, and giving, you know, basically young babies a cell phone before they're even ready for all of that. Because that's basically giving them a computer that exposes them to a whole different world And for all y'all old people like myself, I know I love to call myself old, I don't think that a child deserves to get a phone until they are responsible enough to actually use it. And by using it, I mean that they're responsible enough to know what to do, like to obey the rules, because there has to be some level of rules attached to the phone. You can't just give it to them and just let them just have a windfall with it, period. There has to be some type of ground rules with the phone. And there has to be some boundaries as to what they can do and where they can go on the phones. They're, whomever give it to them, parent or guardian or whomever, needs to be able to monitor that phone, or else they're gonna run into issues, because they're gonna run into, like what she just said, they're gonna run into a lot of things that is going to make them, see and do things that they probably wouldn't normally do outside of the phone. And you, just like she said that about the whole, watching another person eat a full 5-course meal while they themselves are eating freaking doggone ramen noodles. I mean, that's a level of depression right there. But you got to be able to dissect, which most babies are not able to do. Their brain is not developed to understand that, that person might have a different lifestyle. They might have a different level of, living than them. So they just feel like, why are they doing that and I can't, so the level of depression, of course, it goes back to all of that too. So that sets in, and they try to pressure mom and dad or whomever they are with, their guardian parent or whomever, and they try to pressure them into getting them the things that they see all these other people have. And so when they can't get it, there comes the depression, there comes the mental issues, because why mommy and daddy can't provide all these beautiful things that these people have for me. Do you agree that a parent should allow their child to put the phone away at nighttime?
Do I agree that a parent should allow it?
Yeah.
What does putting away mean?
Putting it down, cutting it off. When the nighttime comes, put it away. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe it shouldn't be like a full cut off. I think it should just be because it has to do with the whole parenting and all that, because it's like, that's a very varied question, because it depends on how the parent parents. There's 4 types. Me personally, I believe that the positive enforcement is the best. So like,
but what about the time? I asked you about the time though. I'm like, do you feel that
I feel like it is good to like encourage your child to, I would enjoy my child to have, if they're at the age of a phone, that they should have a device in their room.
Good question. What is a good age? Because we never even established that.
13.
What do you figure is a good age?
13.
13 is a good age. Do y'all agree with that out there?
I'm saying that's the minimum. Now, the age I would give my child is the age as when they start, like, being independent. Like, if they get a job, if they start engaging in after-school activities. If they're in school, period, I would have my child have a device. I wouldn't give them, like, something that's, like, social media capable. I'd give them, like, a whole bunch of things. Not just, like, monitoring. I want it to be restricted until a certain age.
All right, I think we're going into a whole nother scenario and a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. I just want to thank everyone. We're going to shut it down right now because I see that we're rambling on just a tad bit and we're getting a little bit away from the subject to begin with. But we're going to cut it off right here and we're going to pick this up some other time. This has to be continued. This last topic has to be continued. We have to pick it up some other time because it's very, very deep. It's a very deep topic, conversation that needs to be had, and we can't do it all in this one little session. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe at the end of this video. Thank you all for watching us today. We do appreciate it. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. Continue to sip on that good tea, coffee, or whatever you're drinking on, and just continue to have a good day. All right, beautiful people, take care until we see you again. Bye.